makes sense as well, because like you say, it's the astrology and tarot and numerology, they all fit together, and those meanings kind of overlap, don't they? They're not exactly the
Yes.
same, but
And then on a scale from 1 to 10, how connected do you say you currently feel like you are on your life path?
maybe a 5,
Okay.
somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Like I know that there's something that something more that I have to give, but I just not sure where that lies, if that makes sense.
Okay.
But that's where I feel my purpose may be, is in helping other people to transform. My degree is in psychology as well, so obviously that's around helping people overcome sort of psychological difficulties, I suppose. So
Okay. So your joy lies in communicating in relationships. You need to learn to think clearly and develop your higher mind for fulfillment.
yeah, definitely, I'm a talker. I like to talk to people, but I do feel I have a lot of that kind of sword energy, that air thinking, as well as that earthy side, which is the because I've got a Capricorn
Yes.
sun. So yeah, I'm quite practical and down to earth, but I'm self-discipline is
Yeah.
definitely an area that I need
I
that
wouldn't say
yeah,
that I
I
wouldn't
need
feel
to
like
work
with
on.
Capricorn energy, usually, and there's some aspects in here where, it seems like some people come into these without a plan whatsoever. They're kind of floating, right? I don't feel
Yeah.
like that's you because I feel like you've got some of that energy. You have things to pull on and
I
paths,
have,
just how you put it.
yeah. I think it's just trying to like focus it all in and get it moving in the right direction. But
Which most of the time I've done a lot of reading for some people with that energy. Which is conversely, the positive sign is that, which I think people may take for granted, is it generally allows people in your orbit around you to feel more comfortable with you and open up to you about their problems that they might not to a stranger or someone who don't feel like that. Do you find that to
yeah,
be true too?
yeah, absolutely. I do find friends will always kind of say, "Oh, you're really good to talk to. You're a really good listener," and people do tend to open up. And even people that don't don't know me, sometimes I'll get chatting to somebody like in a pub or something, and then the next thing they're telling me all these like kind of deeper things that you wouldn't expect somebody that you didn't know to kind of be discussing with you. So yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
Your lesson is to focus on the needs of the world rather than your personal desires. Once this concept is learned, you will be a powerful advocate for humanity. You will be able to empathize with and fight for those who need your strength and compassion.
Wow, that's really interesting. I think I did often feel up against it, I think, all through my life, but that talking about that lesson about putting kind of the bigger picture needs, humanity's needs in front of your own, gives you that opportunity to sort of help, like in the bigger scheme of things, rather than just thinking of yourself. So that's really interesting. I really like that.
Any questions on some of those? Any of that edge that makes sense with you? Is it helpful?
Yeah, no, it's really interesting and really helpful, for somebody who doesn't know it's that much about astrology. And I know a little bit, so the stuff that you're saying makes sense to me, but it's nice to kind of go into those deeper levels. So just really appreciate that.
Sure. So the next three energies here are interesting because they're all kind of wands energy, and I've seen them pop up in some of the other readings. So we'll see if this holds true for you. So the one acting upon your plan is the Nine of Wands, and so this is
Okay.
feeling defensive, almost you know not being prepared to be attacked and stuff like that. And there's a couple others here around that similar type of theme. So I would say, in addition to the timing or having your plan, are there any worries or concerns that if you were to switch or step into what you want to do, there would be some resistance or lack of acceptance from others?
There's that, and probably other people as well, but some of that resistance could even, or it's even from myself, as well, that kind of feeling like, oh, would that be the right thing to do, and like kind of feeling a bit defensive about having to have to like justify it to people,
Yeah.
whereas really it shouldn't matter what anybody else thinks, but it
Yes.
does.
Yes. I would say that, at least for me, that is a very difficult energy because once you go through all these numerology and your own astrology and stuff like that, it ends up being our own self-limiting beliefs, I believe, are the greatest barriers for any of us to accomplish what we want on our life path.
Mhm.
So it's a shame if anyone else becomes an additional obstacle, because that journey by itself is so hard on its own to figure out what you want to do and what will be fulfilling for you, that when other people rise in and step in the way and give you doubt or reasons to knock you off your path, to me that's the harshest, cruelest, because it's so hard. Once you know how hard it is for anyone to achieve it, why would you want to step in anyone else's way from what they
Yeah.
want to do? And then the energy I got coming to you right now is a major arcana card. So this is the High Priestess.
Oh, wow.
So this is, the main one would be like trust your gut, but connect with your intuition, your deep emotional water energy, and then just trust that will serve you best as you kind of trust your gut to move forward.
That's a really lovely card for me to come up, because
Yeah.
that's, I think, where I'm struggling is like trusting my gut, and I know what I want to do and what will fulfill me, but the practical side and the earthy side of everything kind of interferes instead of just letting that
Yes.
intuition sort of flow.
Ironically, the more humility and gratitude that you can muster, the more you're likely to be respected teacher or leader.
Wow. That's a lot, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I like that idea of kind of, we touched on that before when we were talking about, teaching others and helping others to achieve, and what my kind of goal was with learning about tarot and astrology, and but also studying like depth psychology. What I wanted to was to kind of come up with some offerings around shadow work and
Mhm.
tarot, and using those tools to kind of do that work on yourself. That the way you described that just then is kind of a bit goose pimply. It's a bit like,
Yeah.
wow. That was like really interesting.
And I usually, even as I got deeper in my tarot readings, especially during the pandemic, whenever I'm doing readings for other people and I get goosebumps, like that to me says like that's it. That's the energy area to
That's
study. That's
the
the
yeah.
go deep in that focus.
It's funny, that card, I call it my stalker card.
Oh yeah, dude,
It
this is your
comes up
stalker.
like in
Yeah.
the last year, it comes up. Yeah, I've had a few readings, from a few different people, and even readings that I do for myself. The Eight of Pentacles is like my card. It comes up all the time, and I'm like, yeah, I know. I need to perfect my craft. I need to keep just like, So yeah, it's funny that that came up now as well. No, I mean, it's so much information, isn't it, to kind of
Yes.
think about and percolate and sort of look at. So I'm looking forward to getting all of that so that I can kind of
Yes.
look at it. But yeah, I mean, a lot of it makes complete sense to where I am and where I'm kind of wanting to go. So yeah, that's really good. Thank you.
Sure.